How's it going, everybody? So, I wanted to make a quick video about vegetable police. So, I don't think I've really touched on the subject in the past, but I think it's pretty clear to most sensible people that vegetable police is a hypochondriac. He has a unhealthy obsession with food, an unhealthy obsession with his own health, and he's not getting anywhere. And he's probably not ever going to get anywhere until he realizes that his problem is not physical, his problem is mental. It's very obvious he has hypochondria and he has orthorexia. Really, he's a classic example of orthorexia, and it's not surprising that he was raw vegan at one point. So I'm going to be really honest with why he has been experiencing any kind of physical health problems at all. So this guy has never stuck with one diet. So the gut microbiome requires up to, generally it takes 1 to 4 weeks for the gut microbiome to adapt to whatever diet you're consuming. So if you're having any kind of gut problems, now colitis is different. Colitis is physical damage to the gut from whatever is irritating it. But typically after you heal the gut, you should be able to introduce foods back in later on. But you must expect food intolerances to occur in the first month or so. Now, taking a high dose probiotic for a good amount of time should solve that. But typically, food intolerances, symptoms like bloating, gas, flatulence, even skin issues. These are all signs of food intolerances, and in the first couple of weeks of introducing new foods to the diet, you will have symptoms of food intolerance. So, whatever diet you choose to follow, besides a carnivore diet, is going to cause GI symptoms in the first couple weeks. There's no doubt about it. The great thing about the carnivore diet is that meat and animal foods are typically almost completely digested in the stomach by pepsin and stomach acid and typically turn to a liquid and then absorbed through the intestines. And so, plant foods, the whole reason why it takes so long to adapt and why so many people have so many problems is because it's actually plant foods are digested by bacteria in the intestines. And so without the right types of bacteria and the right quantities, you may or may not be able to digest specific plant foods, okay? But anyway, in regards to Vegetable Police's case, he just fell into this the trap of this fascination with all these different ideas on health, and it's just ran him into a corner, into which he is having a lot of trouble getting out of. Now, I will say the carnivore diet definitely cleared up pretty much all of his issues. He just he'll find any reason that he possibly can to flip flop again and to change what he's doing. The problem isn't the carnivore diet, and the problem really was not veganism. His problem is hypochondria and orthorexia, and it's this flip flopping that occurs when people want to find the nirvana of health that doesn't actually exist. And so, for me personally, I realize that there's just a lot of troubled, mentally ill people out on the internet. And I'm not saying that Vegetable Police is mentally ill per se. I do think he has orthorexia and hypochondria. But the people that follow these people for health advice probably aren't the smartest folks in the box. Again, I'm not saying anything wrong about Vegetable Police, but it's clear you should not follow somebody for health advice that has these types of issues. You want to find people who have confidently cured their own health issues and they know why it happened, okay? And the problem is most average people on the internet, they don't really have a basic understanding of physiology and nutrition and the relationship between the two. And so they can't spot bullshit when it's spouted. So, for example, with the raw vegan community, they believe in alkalinity and they think that they're consuming the fear of animals uh, if they eat animal products. Like that, anybody who has any common sense or basic fundamental knowledge of reality will be able to quickly and easily, label that as bullshit. The alkalinity hypothesis, it's ridiculous. Not to say that acid alkaline load is not relevant in regards to the kidneys and stomach acid production and then metabolism of minerals, for example. I think there's a lot of gray area involved in that. But the raw vegans, they take it to a really dangerous extreme, and they take acid alkaline balance and the pH, and they blow it out of proportion. And people who follow this theory have these really crazy ideas, like the Illuminati doesn't want us to realize we're fruitarians. And so, anyway, I think we all need a balanced approach to this. Like, honestly, I think for a lot of these people, but let's just say vegetable police, this guy, I'm sure, has never really even tried nailing down the basic fundamentals of nutrition. He has not tried just eating, I don't know, red meat, fruits, and easy to digest vegetables, maybe. Trying, I don't know, sweet potatoes for a while, just not with the skin. And then maybe introducing some bone broths and making sure you get adequate amounts of salt. Like, this guy's probably been doing the carnivore diet for a while and probably has been under consuming salt. And a lot of people don't realize, I mean, and look, you don't have to really follow any specific diet, but you must understand the basic essentials in the context of whatever diet you're following. A lot of people don't realize how important sodium is on a carnivore diet or a ketogenic diet, or even if you're, following a regular diet and you're just athletic. Eating 5 grams of sodium per day minimum is a game changer, and it can turn you from feeling lethargic and having insomnia and constipation to all of a sudden feeling just like a god, turning your brain on and making you feel so healthy, even if you're just eating red meat. And sodium intake is extremely important. And I think people like Vegetable Police, they focus way too much on like the big, like crazy things. Like, oh, eat nothing but red meat. Oh, the celery juice cleanse. Like, take berberine or what have you. Drink my own urine. Like, why don't you just focus on the basics? Like, you probably haven't even looked at how essential sodium is and how much of a difference that can make, or supplementing with magnesium, or your individual blood glucose results from various different types of foods and the individual responses to certain types of carbohydrates. Or the science of ketones and what they actually do in your body. I know this guy doesn't read these books on the basic fundamental science behind things. And so recently, of course, he came out with a video freaking out about his creatinine levels in his blood test. And it's like, dude, you're eating nothing but red meat. Of course your creatinine levels are going to be high. And it's not a cause for concern. It really shouldn't be. But this is a reason for him to quit the diet that's been working for him for the last year. So, like, you wouldn't be freaking out if you just even Google searched like creatinine levels and why them by themselves are not a problem. All doctors that I've ever been to that mention creatinine say the same thing. It's not Creatinine is not the problem itself. It's just an indication of a possible problem if you combine it with other results that are off and abnormal from the tests. So anyway, Vegetable Police needs to get his mental health on check, and people need to exercise critical thinking when following people. Leave your opinions down below, and I'll talk to you on the next video.